Mom, why do you want me to learn AI when I'm only 8?
Because AI can do a lot of great things. It can help doctors, teachers, scientists, and it can even help kids learn faster.
So I just let AI keep learning and doing everything for me. And I use all my time to play games and watch TV. That sounds perfect.
No, honey. That's exactly what I want to prevent. Because one day AI might be able to do almost everything. And when that happens, I don't want you to lose your curiosity, lose your passion for life, or forget how to think for yourself. And most important, I want your generation to know how to guide AI, not let AI control you.
Why? But I don't get it. AI is so smart and it loves to help people.
You're right. That's what we call good AI. But there can also be bad AI.
What is bad AI?
Let me show you what the Godfather of AI says.
Geoffrey Hinton is the Nobel Prize-winning pioneer whose groundbreaking work has shaped AI
and the future of humanity.
Why do they call you the Godfather of AI?
Because there weren't many people who believed that we could model AI on the brain so that it learned to do complicated things, like recognize objects and images or even do reasoning. And I pushed that approach for 50 years. And then Google acquired that technology, and I worked there for 10 years on something that's now used all the time in AI.
And then you left?
Yeah.
Why?
So that I could talk freely at a conference.
What did you want to talk about freely?
How dangerous AI could be. I realized that these things will one day get smarter than us, and we've never had to deal with that. And if you want to know what life's like when you're not the apex intelligence, ask a chicken.
Hey, Zayah. Mia told me you were talking about bad AI. Are we all going to get replaced by robots now, or what?
Yeah, Mom says I have to learn AI so I can protect humans. I thought AI just helps with homework and makes funny cat pictures.
Okay. Let's have a deeper talk. You both already live with AI every day. It recommends what you watch, edits your photos, finishes your sentences.
Yeah. I've seen people use it to write their homework too.
Exactly. But Geoffrey Hinton, the man who basically invented this technology, left his job just to warn the world about two kinds of danger.
So there's risks that come from people misusing AI, and then there's risks from AI getting super smart and deciding it doesn't need us.
Is that a real risk?
Yes, it is. But
let's start with the stuff that affects the teens like you right now. Risk 1. Losing your own brain. If AI writes every essay, every project, and every idea for you, your brain stops practicing. The danger isn't just cheating. The danger is you stop knowing what you think because a machine thinks for you.
So like, if I always ask AI what to do, eventually I won't know how to decide anything myself.
Exactly. Risk 2, fake reality. Hinton also warns about deepfakes, fake videos.
Hi, Mia. My meeting ran late. Can you go to your friend Kina's place with her and wait for me there?
Fake images, fake voice messages that sound exactly like your mom or best friend. Soon, it will be hard to tell what is real. That means scams get easier, and your news feed might just be a customized story designed to manipulate your emotions.
So like, deep fake videos of people saying stuff they never said?
Yes. And he worries that truth might be a luxury for the average person. Risk 3, AI getting too powerful. Now, the big one. Hinton believes AI could eventually become smarter than humans. AI can learn faster, copy itself 1,000,000 times, share knowledge instantly. And when we give it goals like win this game, make more money, keep this system running, it can develop sub-goals like don't get turned off, get more power, remove obstacles. Sometimes we are the obstacles, not because AI is evil, but because we're in the way of its goal.
So, are we the chickens?
That's why it's so important you learn AI, not just to use it, but to question it, shape it, and put limits on it.
So Mia told my daughter, you're teaching them how to use AI, but also how to protect humans from AI. Should I be worried? Or more worried than I already am?
I don't want you to panic, but I also don't want us to sleepwalk through this. Geoffrey Hinton, the Godfather of AI, spent decades building this technology. Now his main mission is to warn people how dangerous it could be.
In this season of your life, what mission are you on?
My main mission now is to warn people how dangerous AI could be.
Did you know that when you became the godfather of AI?
No, not really. I was quite slow to understand some of the risks.
As we sit here today, what are the big concerns you have around safety of AI? If we were to list the top couple.
Can I have more than a couple?
He isn't anti-AI. He just believes we're not taking safety seriously enough. He says there are two completely different kinds of risk. Let's first talk about the misuse by people, because that's already happening today.
Yep.
Let's talk about all the risks from bad human actors using AI. There's cyber attacks. So between 2023 and 2024, they increased by about a factor of 1,200%. And that's probably because these large language models make it much easier to do phishing attacks.
Yeah, we're already seeing way more scams.
And the next thing is using AIs to create nasty viruses.
Okay.
And the problem with that is that just requires one crazy guy with a grudge. You can now create new viruses relatively cheaply using AI. And you don't have to be a very skilled molecular biologist to do it. And that's very scary. Then there's corrupting elections.
Okay.
So if you wanted to use AI to corrupt elections, a very effective thing is to be able to do targeted political advertisements where you know a lot about the person. Then there's creating these two echo chambers, showing people things that will make them indignant. If they had a policy of showing you balanced things, they wouldn't get so many clicks and they wouldn't be able to sell so many advertisements. And so it's basically the profit motive is saying, show them whatever will make them click. And what will make them click is things that are more and more extreme.
What kind of world are our kids growing up into?
That's a great question. And honestly, I don't think anyone has a perfect answer. We can talk about universal basic income, but people also need purpose, not just money.
Universal basic income? Give everybody money?
Yeah, I think that's a good start. And it stops people starving. But for a lot of people, their dignity is tied up with their job. I mean, who you think you are is tied up with you doing this job, right?
Yeah.
And if we said, we'll give you the same money just to sit around, that would impact your dignity.
Even Elon Musk paused in silence during an interview when he was asked the same question.
When you think about advising your children on a career with so much that is changing, what do you tell them is going to be of value?
Well, that is a tough question to answer. I would just say, to sort of follow their heart in terms of what they find interesting to do or fulfilling to do. I mean, if I think about it too hard, it frankly can be dispiriting and demotivating. Because, I mean, I go through, I've put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into building the companies, and then I'm like, wait, well, should I be doing this? Because if I'm sacrificing time with friends and family that I would prefer to do, but then ultimately the AI can do all these things, does that make sense? I don't know. To some extent, I have to have deliberate suspension of disbelief in order to remain motivated. So I guess I would say just, work on things that you find interesting, fulfilling, and that contribute some good to the rest of society.
And then there's the long-term risk. Superintelligence. AI that's better than us at almost everything.
And then there's risks that come from AI getting super smart and deciding it doesn't need us.
Is that a real risk?
And I talk mainly about that second risk because lots of people say, is that a real risk? Mm-hmm. And yes, it is. Now, we don't know how much of a risk it is. We've never been in that situation before. We've never had to deal with things smarter than us. So really the thing about that existential threat is that We have no idea how to deal with it. And the hope is that if enough smart people do enough research with enough resources, we'll figure out a way to build them so they'll never want to harm us. So we have one example of that, which is mothers and babies. Evolution put a lot of work into that. Mothers are smarter than babies, but babies are in control. And they're in control because the mother just can't bear lots of hormones and things, but the mother just can't bear the sound of the baby crying.
Not all mothers.
Not all mothers. And then the baby's not in control and then bad things happen. We somehow need to figure out how to make them not want to take over.
So, how will AI impact our jobs? That's what everyone is talking about.
Hinton talks about this directly.
I think the joblessness is a fairly urgent short-term threat to human happiness. I think if you make lots and lots of people unemployed, even if they get universal basic income, they're not going to be happy.
Because they need purpose.
Because they need purpose, yes.
And struggle.
They need to feel they're contributing something, they're useful.
Yeah.
In the past, new technologies have come in which didn't lead to joblessness. New jobs were created. So the classic example people use is automatic teller machines. When automatic teller machines came in, a lot of bank tellers didn't lose their jobs. They just got to do more interesting things. But here, I think this is more like when they got machines in the Industrial Revolution, and you can't have a job digging ditches now because a machine can dig ditches much better than you can.
People say that it will create new jobs, though, so we'll be fine.
Yes, and that's been the case for other technologies, but this is a very different kind of technology. If it can do all mundane human intellectual labor, then what new jobs is it going to create? You'd have to be very skilled to have a job that it couldn't just do.
People use this phrase, they say, AI won't take your job. A human using AI will take your job.
Yes, I think that's true. But for many jobs, that'll mean you need far fewer people.
Are you worried? You work with AI every day.
Part of me is yes. I see AI writing code and debugging better and better. Now it can even help us design AI products. But another part of me believes in humans. For thousands of years, we've adapted to huge changes. And I want to believe we will again.
So what can we do to make AI safer?
Yeah, I want to protect us from AI. But how, Mom?
Let's hear what Hinton suggests.
With AI, it's good for many, many things. It's going to be magnificent in healthcare and education, and more or less any industry that needs to use its data. It's going to be able to use it better with AI. So we're not going to stop the development. You know, people say, well, why don't we just stop it now? We're not going to stop it because it's too good for too many things.
If you had a closing message for my listeners about AI and AI safety, what would that be, Geoffrey?
There's still a chance that we can figure out how to develop AI that won't want to take over from us. And because there's a chance, we should put enormous resources into trying to figure that out, because if we don't, it's going to take over.
First, I don't have a perfect answer either. But I believe this. If your generation keeps learning, keeps thinking for yourselves, keeps your curiosity and passion alive, and uses AI as a tool, not a replacement for your mind, then together we can guide AI safely so it works for us, even if one day it becomes smarter than us.